2015 sure was a great year for video games. We got Sekiro, Kingdom Hearts 3, depending on who you're asking, of course, The Outer Worlds, Devil May Cry 5, if you could actually handle the combat, the 22...
Wow, Mr. Pop's just getting good.
Astral Chain and Code Vein, but you want to know the one that stands out from all of them the
Need
most.
some sleep. Oh, shit!
Why, yes, we are starting off my YouTube career with RE2 Remake, because I said so. Spoilers ahead, y'all, let's get into it. Actually, before we do, for those who don't know me, my name is Geistra, and I like to yell about games and care way too much for stuff like Bayonetta, Silent Hill, Kingdom Hearts, except 3.
I'm worthless.
And any of the Souls games. But we're not here to talk about any of these awful things, we're here to talk about Resident Evil 2 Remake. Let me get one quick thing out of the way. I love horror games. My first video game I ever played was Silent Hill 1, which, looking back on that, probably explains why I'm so fucked up. But this game in particular is a treasure to me. After watching the We Do It video back in 2015,
ようやくこのリメイクプロジェクト開発決定いたしました。
I was beyond excited, and I'm just gonna say it right now, it's a great game. Also, with Remake 4 coming out later down the line and Village very soon actually, what better time to talk about this game and maybe Remake 3? Although I'm still recovering from that massive letdown, but we'll save that for a later day.
Bitch can't even swim.
Now, I can start off this video right by talking about how it all came to be with me and my love with the RE games, starting with RE1. Oh my god, it's so ugly! But I'm gonna refrain from doing that. Look, all I need to say is I love Resident Evil. There, it's out of the way. You don't need to hear about my upbringing with the series and how I couldn't finish as a kid because it was so scary, yada yada yada. We've heard it a million times before. I'll keep it simple and to the point. The original was everything to me back then. So when I talk about what this game did right and wrong, it will be based around the original because how amazing it was. It's only fair, it's the same game but with Remake slapped on the end of it. But what this game did right is, ooh, so good. However, what they did wrong is a little bit heartbreaking. Let's start with what they did right. Yeah, we're starting positive. We're not gonna bitch about this game yet. For those who have no idea about this game, Resident Evil 2 has 2 playable characters in it. You can choose Claire Redfield, the little sis of big boy Chris Redfield, one of the main characters from the first game, or Leon S. Kennedy, first day on the job rookie cop who's just looking for some encouragement and motivation from his fellow officers. Now, while this sounds like the same game but with a male or female protagonist, both characters have different story moments and encounters with other characters that you can only experience in their respective playthrough. And both characters are also here in Raccoon City for a different reason. Claire wants to find her brother Chris and thinks that he's at the Raccoon City police station. And Leon, well, he just stays to make sure everyone gets home safe. That's something I really like. It's not wrong place at the wrong time type of zombie outbreak, and you get to play as a base character but with a different skin. And after Claire finds out that her brother isn't in the city anymore, she tries to escape but ends up staying to help a little girl that she stumbles upon, Sherry Birkin, find her parents. And Leon stays to help a woman he bumps into named Ada Wong, a sexy trenchcoat wearing FBI agent, or so we're told, take down Umbrella and gather a little bit of that sexy Barney juice that caused this outbreak to begin with. Whoopsies! And it's up to these 4 characters to save Raccoon City. Except Sherry, because she literally gets countered by cardboard and duct tape. And bada bing, that's your plot. There's even more differences, so let's start with the weapons. Leon and Claire will have to arm up in order to take on any threat in this place. They both get unique weapons to their playthrough. Leon gets the classic zombie survival formula, but also very effective, shotgun and flamethrower, and Claire gets the more fun and unique ones being the grenade launcher and spark shot, with the exception of them both getting stuff like a magnum, but still 2 very different magnums. Now, just because Leon doesn't get the cooler ones, don't let that discourage you. They're very strong weapons. Honestly, he probably has the hardest hitting ones in the game considering the shotgun is a one-shot to the head on most enemies, if you don't miss of course. And also the flamethrower does a crazy amount of overtime damage. Yes, burn! Clairs are also very powerful, but they're not insta-killing powerful. They're an AoE slow burn or a one-shot that takes some time to charge. Still my favorite though, because look at that thing just burn! Okay, sorry, I'll stop. There's also the addition of defensive items that they brought back from the first remake. These allow you to knife, grenade, or flash your way out of any situation. Except that one. Ooh, yeah, okay. These things aren't good to just use all willy-nilly, of course. Well, the knives are, but save the grenades for the big boys because they do work on them. Also, there's the addition of gunpowder. Pretty self-explanatory, combine X with Y to create Z. There's a few different combinations you can do if you're running low on ammo, but I'm gonna be real with y'all. A and B. Because yes. Another thing they did right was the atmosphere and graphics, because oh my god. Personally, I think the original's graphics still hold up to this day. It captured that gritty and more mature look perfectly. Well, I'm happy to say they also did it in the remake. The game runs on Capcom's trademarked RE engine. Trademark. The same one 7 was running on, and you can tell they really went all out. On top of making the game look like absolute art, they also added a few new things to the police station to give it more of a modern feel. Stairs. We got stairs in the main hall. Oh my god! No, but really, thank you for this. The map layout actually making sense is a huge improvement from the original. There's still a lot of backtracking for those who enjoy it like me, but with the new room layout and no door opening animations, everything just feels smoother. Now, you might be wondering, why is there a library and a clock tower and a police station to begin with? To make it simple, this place used to be an art museum, and you can see that in certain rooms with a bunch of art stuff lying around. I don't know what else to call it, I'm not rich. And they even incorporated that into some of the game's puzzles. These range from finding 3 key items and putting them all in a single place to playing chess down in the sewer, requiring you to use more than your one brain cell. Why is this so hard? I don't even know why we have chess puzzles in the sewer. That's a bit overkill, don't you think? Rich people are weird, man. Also, if you do somehow get lost, which is really hard considering all the rooms have a very unique design to them, you can open the map and see where you are with very detailed descriptions on each room. Or just open the map to show you if a room still contains items. But there's over 40 rooms in the police station alone, all of them with items or enemies. There's 3 different floors, an underground section. This place is beefy. Look for doors with playing card suits and find the key that corresponds with it. That'll get you to where you need to be. Items in these rooms aren't very well hidden either, especially the health items, aka weed. There's 3 different kinds. You got Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup, each doing their own unique thing. One just giving straight up small amount of health, one allowing you to get a full heal from just 1 green if combined, and the other giving you a heavy resistance to incoming damage for a few minutes or to cure poison. And you can get a can of Febreze that will fully heal you. Lilac. You know, Marvin could have used this, but you two are sick murderers and let him die. You know what? I'm out of here. Let's get out of the police station for a moment and move on to other areas. Depending who you play, you'll go to one unique area that you can't visit in the other playthrough. Claire has to head over to a new building, the orphanage, has to get Sherry out of there alive and escape from a green Teletubby in a very daring chase to the end where you're told a crucial plot point. And Leon goes into a poo pipe and gets chased by a poop crocodile.
I am the great mighty Pooh.
Yep, that just happened. These areas are very short and you'll be in the main sewer system in no time, then you're both back on track to following the same path sadly. Now, this will be something they did right, depending who you ask. You see, I'm a bit mixed on this. The character design and how it's changed from 1998 to fit the more modern, updated feel sort of feels a bit lazy. Leon looks fine. It's almost a 1-for-1 with his original look, but Claire's could use some work. And I'm not saying that because it's not a 1-for-1, but how could we go from bad biker chick with a great personality who has a soft spot but can also bring out the sass with those cycling skin shorts to... I just finished playing the Tomb Raider trilogy. They didn't have to go the route of artificial badassery with Claire since she is a great character already. And like any other gay man on the internet, I care a lot about my biker chicks to an unhealthy amount. See, I love the jacket, they made it stand out a lot more. It's just missing something, and that something ain't... Ugh. I do think both Leon and Claire look great as people and feel real. The engine is really being put to work here. And the voice acting is great. You can tell they're putting their all into it. And this is coming from a huge fan of Allison Court, so I'm not going to complain about it really. Everyone did fantastic. But on the topic of sound, oh, do I love some creaky floorboards and rain. Walking down hallways never felt better. I legit get spooked looking down these halls. Hearing sounds from a far off distance and not knowing if it's a zombie waiting for you to turn a corner or someone pleasuring themselves, the possibilities are endless. Same goes for the music. Or lack of music, I guess? I'm pretty sure this game took a hit in the music department because most of these halls just have great sounds happening, no music to really back it up. And that's totally fine, but I will miss hearing these eerie tones as I run down empty hallways.
Focus, Claire. Focus.
Hello? Is anybody here?
I feel like this could have worked, maybe? But what we got is totally fine. The most iconic song from this game also made it back and is remade like everything else. I don't know how I feel about this one really. I like it because you can tell it's a remade version, but it feels really different. The original had a menacing tone, but at the same time mysterious and soothing. Feels like a tone where you should feel safe, aka a police station, but with a dark twist. It stands out and I adore it. The new remade version is very, well, it just sounds sad and somber all the time. I'm definitely gonna say I prefer the original more. Had way more emotions happening at once, really started making you think what was to come. Okay, we've sure seen a lot of this big boy, and we haven't talked about him at all. And his name is Mr. X. He was a mini-boss stalker, I guess, in the B scenario of the original game. The B scenario adding a bunch of new content to the game after beating the A scenario, which was sadly taken out of the remake. Capcom, I am not amused. This change actually hurting me way more than it should have. He came out of nowhere since he was never mentioned at all in the A run, so seeing him just randomly appear really made him iconic to the game. He's not so much a mini-boss in this game anymore, he's definitely a lot more of an enemy. He will chase you throughout the station while opening doors behind you, because he didn't do that in the original. Fans have said he's a bit more annoying, but personally I don't think he's overused really. I think he chases you for a decent amount of time and then you're off to the next area, where he doesn't bother anymore. I do however miss him dropping ammo when you downed him though, which was totally optional, and you still can down him, but he doesn't drop anything anymore. His music is some of the best in the game though, but since he's two different characters from the original to the remake, I can't really say which is better. Both serve their purpose however. The original was, this room is dangerous, get out now, and the remake is, you are currently being chased, run. But that, it's so nice. In a I'm gonna die kind of way, of course. Aside from Mr. X, you'll find a wide variety of different enemies. You'll encounter everyone's favorite, the lickers, who just want to give you a good lick. Dogs, which are not such good boys, giant sewer babies called G-adults, salad zombies who one-shot you, and that's it! Which is a shame because that's where a lot of the hate stems with this remake. They removed a decent amount of enemies and then also made a boss into an enemy. In the original, you had to worry about zombies, lickers, dogs, crows, spiders, roaches, evolved lickers, ivies, poison ivies, a literal moth! There was just way more variety, and it made it seem like a city was actually getting infected. Missed opportunity, they could have included a bunch of original enemies, plus stuff that was in the first rendition of Resident Evil 2. I can't argue with all the articles saying that this game is a super hard survival horror where you'll be low on health and ammo all the time. Oh. Yeah, I'm just gonna say this game isn't really balanced well. On my first ever run of the game, I barely died. The first enemy of the game gave me the most trouble, and the RPD station was really well balanced. Because even if you do play smart, you really don't get that much to work with on your first run of the RPD station, which is brilliant. I love that. But once you get out of the station for the first time, you're gonna realize that if you play the slightest bit safe, you're gonna be a one-man army by the end. I'm normally not one for adaptive difficulty, but going into a boss with a full inventory of health and ammo and 3 stacks of grenades can make you think if you should be worried about your life, or should the big giant zombie monster boss be worried about theirs. Quick little reminder, since I never got into this about the music, but you can change the OST to the original OST by going here and clicking this. Now, personally, I don't recommend doing this on your first run, but it is a very nice addition. Also, change this to this. It makes the game look 10 times better. Now, there's one more thing we need to talk about. And I know for the past few minutes we've been a little negative towards the game, however, this is going to be quite a positive. It's endgame content. You know, that one thing that game devs used to do all the time without hiding behind a paywall. RE2 Remake, to my surprise, actually has a ton of it, just like the original. Actually, I'm gonna have to say it, there's more in this game than there is in the original. So kudos to Capcom, you did it. The endgame content includes what was in the original game, which was a hunk survival mode where you run from point A to point B while battling an ungodly amount of enemies that seem pretty unfair at times while playing as a literal hunk. And the tofu mode where it's the same thing, just way harder and funnier with giant pieces of tofu running around screaming in Japanese. They included both of those and more tofu to play as in the remake, plus a bunch of side character missions. Same thing really, you just go from location A to B, but each one has unique paths and inventories that really make it all the more challenging. Do you want to play as Bear Daddy with a shotgun and no healing? Or do you want to play as the Poke Girl who's trying her hardest to catch these 3 Hound Hours with 1 ball? I appreciate the little things, you know? Something more to do, because there's a lot of potential for unlockables and endgame content in Resident Evil games. And not just throwing it behind a paywall 2 weeks after release. Resident Evil 7, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, bring it the on! Bring it on! Bro.
Now, Resident Evil 2 Remake is a brilliant game. I wouldn't say perfect, but it's pretty close. They hit all the marks to make it as atmospheric as possible, and I respect that to the moon and back. Seriously though, this game was handled with so much care. Resident Evil 2 Remake proved to be one of the best games of 2019, and honestly one of the best horror games I ever played. I enjoyed playing through everything again from start to finish to get the clips needed for this video. I had a few laughs, I had a few scares, but most importantly, I can't wait to see what Resident Evil Village and 4 has in store for me. Well, long time no see. Gonna be a bit unedited by the way. This is my first video I ever created on YouTube, and this is a series I wanted to start on, the So I've Played series, where I just kind of ramble on about a game for a bit, and I'm gonna have to say I had an absolute blast doing this. This is something that I wanted to do for the past few months, and I definitely feel capable of continuing this moving forward. But this is going to be the shout-out section for a few people who made this video possible. So thank you so much CarcinogenSDA, aka Carcy, for allowing me to use his clips for his no damage runs for reference to the graphics. Seriously, check him out if you enjoy speedruns and challenge runs. He does survival horror and everything in between. A massive thanks to SuperButterBuns for helping me with a few editing questions that really got my ass kickstarted into making this video to begin with, so thank you. And if you enjoy long beginner guides on a huge selection of video games, she's your buns. And to my community for being so supportive through this entire process. This was definitely not an easy video to make, if anything was a bit cursed. My dad got sick with corona, and then I ended up getting really sick during the recording and had to re-record the entire thing because I was self-conscious about my voice sounding scratchy. And the funniest thing is this video was supposed to be released in January. Sorry about that. So thank you all so much for everything. Carcy and Buns' links to their Twitters, YouTubes, and Twitch will be in the description. Please go check them out. They are fantastic people. And a link to my Discord will also be in the description. Just a little plug, I do stream over at Twitch, and if you'd like to stop by and support the stream, the link will also be in the description. Come by and say hi and enjoy vibes of extreme homophobia my gay friends like to give off in chat. We actually have a really fun time over there. So toodaloo, I will see you all in the next video.